Welcome into this Partners in Kids Health segment. I'm Conan Gasky. Thanks so much for joining us. We're talking about essential oils today, very common household products, and taking a look at their safety, some of the dangers that they might have. We're joined by Tiana Patriarca, a clinical toxicology fellow here at Children's of Alabama with the Alabama Poison Information Center. Thanks so much for your time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So essential oils, I think most people are familiar with these, but just to start out, can you define what they are and how they're commonly used?
For sure. So essential oils are natural products that are derived from plants. They have a number of different uses, probably the most common being for wellness, so things like aromatherapy, diffusers, other fragrances around the house, perfumes, colognes, and they also have a number of medicinal uses, so anti-fever medications, anti-pain medications, such as like muscle rubs.
A lot of uses for them, and I guess that explains why so many people have them.
Yeah, for sure.
What are the most common types that people tend to have?
Yeah, so some of the most common ones are things like lavender oil or tea tree oil, and those are really found in the fragrances or diffusers around the home. And then there's also the medicinal uses such as camphor oil or oil of wintergreen.
Would you say that these are inherently safe products as long as they're used the way they're supposed to be?
Yeah, as long as they're used the way that's directed on the packaging, they are safe products to use. However, when patients use them in too much or too high of quantities, or kids can get into them, they see this colorful, bright product that smells really nice, and they think it's something that can be ingested. And so that's when we start to see the dangers and toxicities of these products.
And I guess that just underscores the importance of making sure that you're storing them safely. If you're a parent who does use these, you need to kind of keep them out of your kids' reach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So keeping them in a locked cabinet or high places where kids can't reach them are probably the safest places to store these products. These products can also be stored in open areas such as living rooms, bathrooms, if you think of like the intended indications for their uses. And so that's when, if you're not paying attention, children can also get into these areas. And so it's really important just to be mindful of how we're storing them and where we're storing them when they're in use.
So where they're typically used kind of lends themselves to being easily discovered by children.
Yes, for sure.
Let's say there is an exposure and a child does manage to get into this, maybe ingest some of it. What should a parent do about that?
Yeah, so the safest thing to do is to call your local poison center at the national toll-free number, and then you'll be connected to a specialist who can help advise what the next step should be.
Any other details you want to add about essential oils for people to know?
Yeah, so these products can be very concentrated. Some are actually meant to be diluted down, and so just paying attention to those package directions is really important, and then making sure to not use different packaging or replace the packaging, keep it in its original packaging, and keep them, again, high up and out of reach of children.
And I mentioned ingestion of these products, but skin exposure is a concern too, right?
Yeah, for sure. So especially if patients are using these for their medicinal properties and they're using them on broken skin, or if they're using them on children who just have higher absorption through the skin, that can lead to toxicity or dangers as well, especially if there's any irritation that develops from that.
All right, that's a look at essential oils, some of the dangers that might exist, and how to use them in a safe way. For more information, go to childrensal.org.